Well, Twitter is reportedly up for grabs. CNBC reports that both Google and Salesforce are actually interested in buying the social media company. TechCrunch says that Microsoft and Verizon are also looking into a bid.
Some big names in there. Jack Moore, the chief investment strategist for The Street, which is a financial news service website, is here with us to break it all down. I thought Twitter was popular, but no one could figure out how to make a profit with it. So what's driving this interest now?
It's interesting, actually, because it has been one of the most, the highest potential yet untapped potential in, I think, Silicon Valley's history of companies. I mean, it has been the biggest disappointment over the last 4 years since it IPO'd.
Why?
Twitter, because it has such vast potential. I mean, if you think about where else you would go for live streaming news.
CBSN.
Well, CBS News, but for live reactions and live news and a dearth of context and content. The Twitter has been a go-to force, and you see a lot of personalities and very famous people who use Twitter. You see a lot of brands on Twitter. Yet Twitter has struggled to take all of that data that it has around the consumer. It has over 300 million active users, and actually use that and apply it in a way where it actually can turn a profit, or where it can be utilized so that it can create more targeted advertising. So I think that it has to be sold, or else it's really going to be, I think, one of those spiraling. We last talked about Yahoo, I think, last time I was on. I think Twitter could become a Yahoo if it doesn't agree to be taken over at some point.
That says something. So what does Google and Salesforce have to gain if they were to purchase Twitter?
They're very different motives, and I think that's what makes it so interesting, is that on Salesforce's side, Salesforce was bidding for LinkedIn, and it competed with Microsoft for that because it wants access to data. When you want to sell products, you need information around the customers. And Salesforce is a large global enterprise, and their founder and CEO, Mark Benioff, is an empire builder. And so I think there is partially, he lost out on the bid to LinkedIn. LinkedIn had access to a lot of data around customers that they could utilize, and I think he sees an opportunity. Google, totally separate. They have never broken into social media effectively, and I believe that they could use Twitter as a means to get there. And again, this is a trove of data that Twitter hasn't figured out how to monetize or exploit, and for positively. And so I think Google relies on data, can create better advertising if it has more data, and Twitter offers data, but it doesn't offer any type of structure that can support that.
So untold millions of people are on Twitter, including the three of us at this table, I would guess.
Yes.
Twitter is producing or collecting data on us as we're engaging with the service. So is anything known about what the nature of that data is and what makes it so valuable?
Well, that's the issue with Twitter. It's not actually really collecting or aggregating or making meaningful extractable insights from that data. That is when you have data on your hands. Facebook has been the excellent example of this. It has an active, engaged user base and across a litany of platforms, Instagram, WhatsApp, and it has used that data to target more targeted advertising. It has a higher return on investment for all advertisers. On Twitter, so the average person spends about an hour on Facebook across their platforms, the average Facebook user. They spend around 3 to 5 minutes on Twitter a day. So, I mean, that is a big discrepancy. And so that data trove has been untapped. It hasn't been unlocked, and there's been no value created through that. Bigger companies with bigger cash flows, bigger balance sheets could potentially unlock.
Okay. Jack Moore, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.